Hey Jelly Beans, so today we're going to make this super cute and easy macrame pot holder. I'll show you guys how I picked out the plants and then we'll get right into the process. Which ones you want. Mo's getting that one on the far end. I'm trying to decide between these two. I like the speckles on the leaves of this one, but this one just has more leaves, you know? Like I might as well pay the same price for more leaves. And they even have these really nice cute pots for $4, but we're going to make our own. So. Thinking about some of these spider plants, not spider plants, these ferns. We'll see, because this is like a good like living room because it takes up a lot of space, but you can like hang it up at the same time, you know. That's some really nice green space. I might just pop up and show up at my house with one. So now we found these little like fancy ones. I think I'm gonna get this one, even though it's broken on. So first things first, we're going to want to measure out our cord. So you want to make sure that you measure how tall the pot itself is, how tall your plant is coming out of the pot, so how like high the leaves go, and then how much you want it to hang from the ceiling. So I did 1 foot for each of those 3 measurements, so it was 3 feet, and then add 3 inches at the top for the little top loop, and then 3 inches at the bottom for the tassel at the end. Of course, adjust the cord length to what you desire. So if you want it tighter to the ceiling, like closer to the ceiling, you're gonna make it shorter. If you want it longer and like to hang lower, then make the cord longer. But yeah, first step, cut your cord. Now this next step is a little harder for me to explain, so the visual is gonna be good. But I took the strand that I measured out, and then I basically just looped it around and created 8 strands that same length. So you can see me just holding the end and pulling it, and the cord is unraveling from the spool over there. So yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, just hold the end and then pull it to the same length and then flip around and do the same thing until you have 8 strands total. And you have a loop at both ends. As you can see here, I stopped to count to make sure I had 8 strands in total. You can see the loop at the end where I put my thumb, so it should be 4 strands on each side of the loop. So again, 8 total. I determined that I needed 1 more strand on one side, so I just pulled that one and then I cut it with the scissors, and then we're on to the next step. So if you did the right amount of loop and pulls, one end will be only loops, like you never cut any of the cord on that end. So you can see where my hand is up, that's the end that is all loops. So that's going to be your loop to hang it from. So then I just pulled that end up, like I said, leave 3 inches for the loop at the top, and then the tassels at the bottom. So it's an extra 6 inches. So I pulled up those 3 inches. Just made sure that it was big enough. Then I'm going to use just a separate short piece of cord to tie around to secure it. Here I'm just trimming the ends to make sure that they're all the same length. This help was kind of unnecessary, you'll see later, but now we're going to lay out all the strands. Just make sure they're not like crazily twisted up at the top. They don't have to be in like any certain order, just make sure that they're not all twisted. Now I'm going to measure down from the top a foot, because remember I said I want it to hang a foot from the ceiling. So we're going to tie our first knots from there. Now if you don't listen to anything else, this is the only part and most important part. So you're going to take the strand second from the left and the one next to it and tie those two together. So basically you're leaving the far left and the far right strands alone for now. So we're going to tie a knot a foot down on the second and third strand, and then we're going to repeat that for the 4th and 5th, the 6th and 7th. Alright, so 2nd and 3rd, 4th and 5th, 6th and 7th tied together. Alright, so next we're going to take the 1st and 8th and kind of just cross them over and do the same thing that we were doing. This is going to create that circular, once you tie everything together, it's going to create that circular shape to the pot holder, and you'll have a bowl at the end. After tying that last one, we're going to thread up to the front and keep it out of the way. Now it's time for decoration, so this is where you can add beads if you want to. Or put as many knots you want to get the look that is desired. So for mine, I basically measured down like 6-ish inches and tied another knot. And for this one, you just again use the adjacent strings as you see me doing here. Notice how I left the 2 on the ends alone, just like I did the first time. You're going to grab that one from the top and tie those 2 to the 2 end pieces. Again, creating that bowl shape. So if you have 2 on the end and you're like, where do these 2 tie together? Remember that you have another piece hanging out up at the top. So next we're going to gather all the pieces. This is pretty much the last step. You can kind of see how it came out with the knots. Does it create a basket? Do you want to put beads in it? So I'm holding it up, and again making sure it's not tangled all together. Then we're going to grab a little piece of string and tie it off how we did the hook at the top. So just looping it around and then tying it and cutting it. Last but not least, we want to go ahead and put our plant in there. So I kind of just loop the ropes around to where I'm holding them all at the bottom. Kind of fit the leaves through, make sure not to bend any, make sure all the leaves are kind of laying naturally outside of the ropes or the cord. And yeah, just kind of finagle it how you want to. And then we're going to tie off the end of it and you will be good to go. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Definitely let me know if you have any questions or comments or tips down below. Help somebody out. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.